This is Nick.
This is Jack.
Welcome back. It is Monday, January 13th, and today's pod is the best one yet. This is a T-Boy.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
Yetis, today, like every day, Jack and I are going to make you the most interesting person at the office, aren't we, Jack?
Wow, bold promise, but I think we can deliver.
You're going to look and sound fantastic. 3 stories for today's show. Jack, what do we got, man?
For our first story, Chuck E. Cheese is back from bankruptcy, and now they're selling a pizza subscription.
Chuck E. Cheese has a brand new strategy. It's not lowbrow, it's highbrow.
For our second story, how are employers getting you back in the office for 2025?
Well, Jack, it's with pools, massages, and bars. Yetis, this is the hotelification of your office.
And our third and final story, the biggest live sports app in years just shut down days before it was set to launch.
And former Duke Blue Devil JJ Redick is telling us why.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories.
Fantastic mix of stories. I love your sweater, by the way, Jack.
This year, I'm going to do some kind of exercise every day, even if it's just stretching.
Jack, this year I will eat vegetables every day, even if it's just tomato sauce.
Nick, this year I will start a blog on going paleo while learning Spanish.
Yetis, right now you are feeling peer pressure to announce your wild New Year's resolutions.
So we whipped up the best resolution yet.
We got your back. First, Jack and I are big fans of Pie January. Pie January.
It's like dry January, but instead of no alcohol, it's only pie.
Pie January. Like instead of cocktails, you eat key lime pie.
Instead of Pinot, it's pecan pie.
Pie January. Trust us, it's going to take off. We're also fans of a resolution called spend vesting.
Every week, look at your credit card statement. One of the things you spent on, invest in the equivalent.
For example, if you bought an $100 pair of sneakers, you should then invest $100 in Nike stock.
If you spent $17 on a Netflix subscription, buy $17 of Netflix stock.
And that is spend vesting. But besties, by far, Jackson, my favorite of favorite New Year's resolutions. What is it, Jack?
It's a word that we invented. Planuary.
Planuary. You plan every month of the year in January.
You plan your vacations, your goals, your life, your business for the whole year this month.
We basically turned our whole whiteboard into a physical calendar with all 365 days. Planned it.
For example, April 19th weekend, Nick, what are you doing?
I got a trip to Santa Barbara already planned.
4th of July long weekend, I'm staying at the chalet with friends.
June 18th, we're doing a guest interview with an epic CEO.
The week before Thanksgiving, we're doing a live T-Boy show in a surprise city.
Plan. Oh, Jack, you are having a baby in like 2 months. That's on the plan.
I know. So I'm setting up a bassinet in February.
And Jack, I already booked my colonoscopy. First one ever, baby.
5 months from now, Nick put it on the calendar. For some reason, he invited me, just so I'm aware.
You're welcome to join in the room, but really it's for full transparency,
Can you
Jack.
give me a referral promo code after, Nick, for 50% off?
So besties, Jack and I are doing Planuary because we always love our favorite Yogi Berra quote.
If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else.
And that's why our New Year's resolution this year is to plan.
To plan the whole year in January.
Happy Planuary to all those who celebrate.
Colonoscopies for everyone on me.
Jack, let's hit our 3 stories. It's on the calendar.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at-list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, Chuck E. Cheese is back out of bankruptcy, and Chucky is making a comeback.
And Chuck E. Cheese has turned their greatest threat into their new greatest strength.
Jack, the pizza, it looks like a jigsaw puzzle.
The ball pit looks like a super spreader event.
And that logo, is that a mouse? Is that a rat? Is it Mickey's like unemployed cousin? What's going on there?
Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid and a parent can regret their life choices.
Full disclosure, I've never actually been to a Chuck E. Cheese, Jack.
Full disclosure, I have, but I can't remember any of it, which is concerning.
That's how you know it was a good experience. There was like a dupe on 23rd Street we went to, but I don't think there were any in New York, man.
The first Chuck E. Cheese was opened 48 years ago in San Jose, California.
Now, interestingly, the co-founder of Chuck E. Cheese was the co-founder of the video game Atari. Same guy.
It was his pet project.
It was. He chose pizza as the only Chuck E. Cheese food because it had the fewest components. Very strategic guy.
Now, it was supposed to be called Coyote Pizza.
True story.
But the mascot supplier accidentally sent him a mouse costume.
Yeah.
So he just switched it up. He just owned the mouse and called it Chuck E. Cheese.
He just rolled with it. Eventually, Chuck E. Cheese IPO'd and they hit a $1.5 billion valuation about 15 years ago.
But during the pandemic, they filed for bankruptcy.
That ball pit was literally bankruptcy.
But here's the news. After a strategic makeover, Chuck E. Cheese is back, baby.
Bankruptcy! It's not the end, it's a new beginning.
Get this, in bankruptcy, they were able to erase $700 million of debt.
Yeah, the Chuck E. Cheese rat was given a whole new lease on life, literally.
And the new private equity owner is investing $300 million on a makeover. And they've put a former Six Flags executive atop Chuck E. Cheese's.
And now, Jack, let's pause the pod here for a second and talk about what's gone. What did Chuck E. get rid of? Because it was actually some really surprising stuff.
They eliminated the animatronic, band. Remember, the rat and the mouse? They're all, playing music in the corner.
Yeah, it was somewhere between entertaining and terrifying. I've seen pictures.
Those are gone. So are the crawl tunnels, where you have to crawl all the way up a tiny tunnel, and then the payoff is a big slide down.
Makes sense. What about the physical tickets?
Those are gone, too.
Yeah, you'd spend $75 to win 100,000 tickets so you could buy a 25-cent toy.
Most controversial of all is that they changed the pizza recipe.
Yeah, they're now using real tomato sauce instead of ketchup.
Which shouldn't be controversial.
And now, financially speaking, they also changed the business model.
Before, you'd only come once or twice a year when your kid or their friends had a birthday party.
But now they've subscriptified Chuck E. Cheese. They've got a monthly subscription called the Fun Pass, so you can come as much as you want for $8 a month.
Last year, they sold 400,000 of those monthly memberships. That's amazing. It's stable monthly revenue that investors love, plus families spend on extras like food, drink, and some other stuff.
But here's what we thought was actually the wildest part of the Chuck E. Cheese makeover.
They were trying to decide what's better, what's more popular, a ball pit or a trampoline zone?
Okay, so Chuck E. Cheese ran a test in Brooklyn and Miami and determined that trampolines get more engagement. So they replaced all the ball pits with trampolines.
Pretty sure on eBay right now, you can find used Chuck E. Cheese balls, which
I'd pay a premium for.
You better bleach those balls.
Oh, the trampolines now cost money too. You actually have to pay an extra premium if you want to jump on that trampoline.
The result? Despite having far fewer locations than pre-bankruptcy, they have higher revenue today than before bankruptcy.
That's right. Chuck E. Cheese, they made deep changes. And despite deep changes, it looks like it worked.
Just don't puke in the skee ball machine.
Again. Early 2026 prediction. We think that the Chuck E. Cheese rat is going to get his own movie.
2026?
He needs a little time, Jack. So what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Chuck E. Cheese?
Chuck E. Cheese spun its greatest threat into its greatest asset.
Yetis, 5 years ago, Chuck E. Cheese said that kids using screens was a threat to their business because kids preferred video games playing at home.
But Chuck E. Cheese has now positioned itself as a solution to screens.
Yeah, here's what we noticed. Historically, Chuck E. Cheese was kind of lowbrow. You didn't want to take your kids, but you kind of had to take your kids.
Compared to playgrounds or going to the library, Chuck E. felt like a less wholesome place for parents to take their kids.
But today, in a world where parents are now concerned about screens, Chuck E. Cheese's value has flipped.
Compared to 3 hours on the iPad or watching YouTube, Chuck E. feels like an active social playtime, constructive for your kid.
So Chuck E. Cheese, they just made a lot of big IP changes, but they kept the most valuable part, the physical indoor playground.
Perfect for the winter if you're in a cold place like Vermont. Just saying. We could use a Chuck E. Cheese up here, Chucky.
In a new parenting era that's anti-screen, Chuck E.'s former threat is now an asset. For our second story, signature scents, saltwater spas, midday massages, Yetis. To get you back in the office for 2025, there is a brand new corporate strategy.
It's the hotelification of the office building.
Besties, this week, JP Morgan Chase just joined Amazon and AT&T in ordering you back to the office 5 days a week.
America's biggest bank, our biggest retailer, and our biggest telecom company are all ending work from home permanently.
Sweatpants are out, suits are in.
Now, we should point out, on the other side, Spotify is standing firm with their work from anywhere policy worldwide.
Yeah, they actually bought a billboard that says on it, our staff are not children, and we're not going to cheat them like that.
But according to the Chicago Booth School of Business, a majority of America's big corporations have something in between, a hybrid situation.
Yeah, 3 days a week, that's likely what you've got going on right now.
The United States is in a Goldilocks situation. We're not all at home, we're not all at the office. We have a few days in the office, a couple days at home.
But besties, we guarantee you this. If your company does have an office, they want it to be full most of the days of the week.
Because the CEOs of America's companies, they became CEOs by being first in the office and last out, and they want their employees doing the same.
While Gen Z and young millennial parents, they like working from home.
So how are these CEOs attracting you into the office?
Well, there's a brand new strategy, and what is it, Jack?
The hotelification of offices.
Get this, Yetis. Offices are now borrowing tactics from the hospitality industry to keep you in the office after they get you in the office.
Instead of threatening that you'll get fired if you don't come in, they're enticing you in with really nice physical perks in the building.
Okay, in San Francisco, one of these tech companies now has a speakeasy bar and a golf simulator in the office for multiple companies to use.
You're sipping a Negroni with 7 irons during the meeting, potentially.
There's a law firm that now has meditation pods and an infrared sauna.
You can send that Slack message from the sauna.
Besties, these aren't office parks, these are work resorts.
The New York Times found one large office building that added saltwater therapy spas and kayak rentals, because I guess they're on the Hudson River.
Or did they build a river? Jack, is this an office or a Ritz? Oh, I saw that same office, Jack, commissioned a signature scent so that every meeting room smells like eucalyptus and productivity.
During the pandemic, your living room became competition for your cubicle.
And now offices are realizing that. So to compete with your living room, they must make the 1-hour commute worth it by feeling like a hotel.
Nick, a masseuse comes into the office every Thursdays. I sign up for those free 15-minute massages. It's an amazing perk.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm going to need a new cucumber slice for my midday facial, Jack. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies going back to the 5-star hotel office?
Hotelification is eating the world.
Yetis, entrepreneur Danny Meyer, the restaurant founder, he has this incredible quote we love. He said that hospitality is anticipating the needs of others beyond expectations.
Hospitality is anticipating the needs of others beyond expectations.
Well, that is a concept that we are now seeing expand beyond the hospitality industry.
Residential buildings are adding hotel-like services available to the tenants.
We've covered that on this pod.
Airlines are investing huge in upscale lounges.
We've covered that on this pod.
And now offices are luring back workers by treating their office buildings like resorts.
Like one of your conference rooms, it's now a massage room. You're welcome.
Since the pandemic, travel and hospitality has enjoyed record demand at record high prices.
Well, now other industries are paying attention to that. Hospitality, it is eating the world. Hey Yetis, if you're a bestie, take a sec and hit that subscribe button.
And like this video while you're at it. If you leave a comment, by the way, we'll read it.
For our third and final story, Venu, the ultimate sports app, the one sports streamer to rule them all, is no more.
And that highlights the biggest issue facing live sports right now.
What is it, Jack?
Friction.
The Super Bowl, a Mike Tyson fight, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
If you miss these huge live sports moments, you're missing out on society and culture.
Awkward next day at the office. Besties, that is why we have called live sports the holy grail of TV.
In this era of personalized feeds, live sports is the only thing all of America still pays attention to.
So 1 year ago, 3 big companies tried to put live sports into one single streamer to rule them all.
It was a joint venture by Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers, and it was called Venu.
Venu, V-E-N-U. You could cut the cable cord, but you'd still get ESPN, Fox, TNT, TBS, all for just $43 a month. That was the ultimate live sports app, Jack.
$43 a month sounds like a lot, but for all the live sports channels, it's actually a good deal.
Just live sports, the most valuable content on TV. What a world we were about to get.
Venu was supposed to launch any day now. You were probably going to watch the Super Bowl because you were a Venu subscriber.
But a flag on the field, Jack. Here's the news. On Friday, Venu got cut.
Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers issued a joint statement saying Venu is done. They're shutting it down.
Awkward. Now, Jack, what is the reason why the ultimate sports app is suddenly no more?
Kind of wild. It involves 2 lawsuits and 1 existential risk.
Now, the first lawsuit was from a streaming company called Fubo.
Fubo argued that those 3 companies were colluding to control sports.
Yeah, why can these three big media behemoths set one price? That's not competition. That's collusion. That should be illegal.
So last week, Disney made that lawsuit go away by basically acquiring Fubo.
Yeah, there you go. Problem
Seriously,
solved.
true
All right,
story.
that lawsuit, all right, maybe they don't have to worry about that. Problem solved.
But then a second lawsuit was coming, according to reports,
Oh, boy.
that was going to argue the same thing. But this time, the lawsuit was from DirecTV.
And according to reports, Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers were afraid that the lawsuits were right, that this new Venu app actually was collusion.
It is collusion.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be competing with each other, but they're agreeing to one price. It's like the opposite of competition.
Jack, even worse, the cable TV bundle that they still own that had like ESPN that they make money on right now, that would be collusion too.
So launching Venu could have resulted in courts not just killing Venu because of collusion, but taking another look at the cable TV bundle and saying, hey, that's actually collusion too.
Yetis, add it all up. And now the ultimate live sports streamer to rule them all has been cut from the team. So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies who are everyone watching sports?
There's nothing with more friction than being a sports fan.
Yeti's great quote Jack and I found. J.J. Redick, former basketball player and current coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, said, "It's not easy to watch an NBA game these days."
What he meant was, it's not easy to find an NBA game.
Right.
Because sports media deals are so complex.
Think about it, besties. If you like a TV show, you subscribe to that one streaming network and then you can watch every episode.
If you like music, you subscribe to one music platform and you can listen to every song.
But if you like a sports team, you have to subscribe to like 6 services just to watch all of their games.
We're in this awful in-between of cable and streaming. To watch every New York Giants game, you need to subscribe to 6 different things.
Okay, Jack, Rangers games, I have to have ESPN, I have to have Spectrum, and I have to have a satellite set up for my parents' Sling box to get MSG just to see the Rangers.
It's been great for the online publishing industry because there's an article every week for how to watch the New York Giants this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because nobody knows. Yetis, honestly, JJ Redick is right. It's not easy to watch an NBA game, and there's no live sports streaming solution.
Right now, there is nothing with more friction than being a sports fan.
Jack, could you whip up the takeaways for us to kick off the week?
Chuck E. Cheese is emerging from bankruptcy after a $300 million turnaround makeover.
Chuck E. Cheese turned its biggest threat
Screen time,
into an asset.
because you're getting your kids off that screen.
Chucky.
For our second story, to entice workers back into the office, buildings are adding hotel-like amenities for the staff to enjoy.
It's the hotelification of work. Hospitality is eating the world. Oh, and if your boss isn't adding a spa right now, tag them.
Send them this episode.
Send them the episode.
The building manager, send them the episode. And our third and final story is Venu. The one live sports streamer to rule them all was shut down before it even launched.
So it's still sadly true. There is nothing with more friction than being a sports fan.
But Yetis, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
First, the U.S. economy added 256,000 new jobs in December, which actually sent stocks down on Friday.
It continues a trend we've seen. The economy is doing too well.
Yeah, this strong jobs report, it's going to be seen as a threat because it could reignite the high prices of inflation.
So our central bank probably won't cut interest rates at their next meeting because our economy is already too hot.
And investors don't like that. And second, last year was Earth's hottest since the instrument record-keeping industry began, eclipsing 2023's record year.
And for the first time in 2024, planet Earth exceeded the Paris climate targets of 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels.
It's basically a routine update that we now do every January, but you can't ignore the warming of the Earth.
And finally, ski patrollers in Park City are back to work. They've accepted a deal with the mountain.
They got their pay raises by $2 an hour, which is what they asked for the whole time.
It comes after a nearly 2-week strike. Man, Park City just should have paid them in the first place.
Ski apocalypse averted. So Tyler Rice, we know you're doing your bachelor party there pretty soon. You guys are going to have a blast.
Sounds like you'll actually get to ski.
You're going to have a great time. You're going to ski. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one whipped up by Jack and me because on Mondays, we do trivia about our weekly show.
Here it is. What famous American candy was invented by a former frog salesman.
Okay, we repeat, literally, a guy who sold frogs, the amphibian.
Eventually invented an amazing candy.
Now, hint, the candy tastes nothing like frogs.
We repeat, what candy was created by a man who began his career selling frogs?
Besties, leave your guesses in the comments right here on Spotify or YouTube.
Because the answer is the next episode of our weekly show, The Best Idea Yet.
And we'll tell you tomorrow. Yetis, you look fantastic to kick off the week, and happy Planuary to all of you.
Oh, could you add my assistant to your colonoscopy appointment? I just want to make sure they're aware.
Yeah, the more the merrier at this point. Everyone's pretty much invited.
You're not going to live stream this thing, right?
TBD. Besties, let us know what you're up to and your Planuary planning, and Jack and I will see you tomorrow. And before we go, a happy birthday to legendary Yeti Yi Chuk, turning 28 years old in Bloomington, Illinois.
And a big shout out to Niels Lundy of the Danish newspaper Dagbladet Borsen, who gave us a shout out.
Yeah, Niels is a big Yeti across the pond. We love having you with us, and we'd love to meet you at a live T-Boy show in Copenhagen.
Happy 5th anniversary to Sneerati and Arpin Chatterjee in San Jose.
5th anniversary, and Caitlin and Cliff in St. Pete's, Florida have a 1-year anniversary. Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations to Kate O'Loughlin in Sydney, Australia, who is just thriving in her new job.
And Andrew Blazer in Woodinville, Washington has got a new job at Microsoft, celebrating the epic work win.
And a quick shout out to Dish Lamachani of San Francisco, whose New Year's resolution is to listen to every episode of T-Boy every day this year.
Okay, Dish is a legendary bestie. We gave him a shout out for his birthday last year. Guess what? He's already 5 for 5 on listening to T-Boy.
If he's hearing this, then he's 6 for 6.
Let's go, baby.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-Boy.
Celebrate the wins.